Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Can you see the screen? We have shared slides with you. You can just write in text, yes. Okay, great. Okay, let's start then. Hi everyone, thank you for coming to our webinar. My name is Arun Singhal and I'm a registration agent. I'll be helping you today to give you some information regarding family visas. Okay, we'll be talking about partner visas and parent visas. And at the end of the webinar, we'll be taking some questions. If you have any questions related to other family visas, we are happy to take them. Okay, so let's start with the webinar. Most of the people have joined the webinar now, so we'll start now. Okay. So first of all, it's a general disclaimer that the information we provide is in general in nature. So if your case differs from the general things, then your requirement might change. Okay, so the migration law allows for the individual circumstances to be considered. So every person is separate as per their individual circumstances, but we are talking about the general visa requirements. Okay. So first of all, we'll talk about the partner visas. So in the partner visas, we have two options. Either the partner is here in Australia or they are overseas. If the applicant or partner is overseas, then we can apply for an offshore partner visa. Okay. So the requirement of offshore partner visa is that the person is outside Australia when we apply for the visa. Okay. They must have a sponsor. Sponsor is usually their partner who sponsor them for the visa. And they must meet the relationship requirement that they are in a relationship as per the migration law. Okay. So they also need to meet health requirement and also character requirements, as well as the location of grant must be offshore. So even if they come to Australia on a temporary visa after lodging their partner visa, for the visa grant, they have to go overseas again. Currently, we have COVID concessions, so the visa can be granted in Australia, but this can change anytime. Okay. So, and we also have partner visa onshore. That is the same equivalent version of the offshore visa. It's called 820 subclass 820 visa. So the requirements are pretty much the same, but just the location of the visa lodgement and the grant changes. So in this case, the applicant has to be in Australia, and the visa will be granted in Australia as well. And also with this visa, the benefit is the applicant will get a bridging visa A, and they can also work full time once they get the visa, or once we apply for the visa. And they are also eligible for Medicare card as well. Okay, so let's see what is the requirements from sponsor. Okay, so for the sponsor, there are two requirements, like when we apply for the visa. So one is from the applicant side. So applicant, they must have a sponsor when they lodge the application. Their sponsor is usually their partner. So when we say partner, it means usually a couple are in a relationship. We'll talk more about the relationship further down. So they can sponsor their partner. But in some cases, let's say the partner also have a child from a previous relation, then that child can also be sponsored for a partner visa. Okay, so you can't change the sponsor. So once we lodge the visa, whoever sponsors you, the Australian sponsor must be the same at the time of visa grant. And also for the second stage visa, which is 100 permanent residency visa. Okay. And from the Australian sponsor side, we would need character requirements, like that is done by AFP check. So we check from them. And so there shouldn't be any history of any family violence or child abuse. If there is, then it's very hard to get a partner visa. And 5-year sponsorship bar is there on Australian sponsors. So if an Australian person has sponsored someone for a partner visa, let's say 4 years ago, they cannot sponsor another person until the 5-year period has lapsed. Okay, and other thing is we need to keep in mind is a person can only sponsor two people for the partner visa. So if a person has sponsored one person for partner visa in the past and then one more person, then it's very hard to until unless there are exceptional circumstances apply, we were not able to get the third partner visa for their third partner, basically. Okay. And the other thing is we need to keep in mind is a person has got a partner visa themselves by getting a sponsorship from other person. Now the relationship broke down and they already got the permanent visa. Now they want to sponsor another partner, so they cannot do that for 5 years. Okay, so let's move ahead. Okay, so there are two the relationship criteria. Like when the couple is in a relationship, it can be fall into under two categories. One is the married couples. So to be a married applicant, your married must be valid as per Australian law. So that is very important to understand that Australian law has certain definition for a marriage to be valid. Like some countries, people can get married even at 16 years of age, but in Australia, marriage is not valid. Even if they married in their own country at let's say 17 years of age, as per Australian law, that marriage would be more void and it will not be considered for the visa purposes. For next thing we need to keep in mind is that the couple must be in a mutual relationship. They have a commitment, they should have commitment to each other with the exclusion of all others. What does it mean is if a person has two partners, so then they cannot pass this test, basically. So the relationship between genuine and continuing, they must be living together. And if they are not living together, they should not be living permanently away from each other. So, for example, if a couple is living in Sydney, like one partner is living in Sydney, one is living in, let's say, in New Zealand, for example, and they are living for work and they keep coming and meet each other, then it's fine. But if they are not even meeting, like it's been 1 or 2 years has gone past, so then it will be very hard to satisfy the department that they are in a relationship. Okay, the last point here is the couple should not be related by family. So what does it mean is if let's say the couple are they have a family history, let's say they are cousins or they are cousins or this kind of relationship or step brother or sister. So then again, this relationship will not be considered for the migration law. Okay, so they might be husband and wife as per their own country or culture, but then as long as the visa is concerned, they will not be able to get the visa. Okay, so with the de facto partners, this changes a bit. They don't have to be married, but again they have to show evidence that they are living together for at least 12 months to satisfy the immigration department that they are in a de facto relationship. Okay, so if they are not living together for 12 months, we can still get satisfy this requirement by registering our relationship as a de facto relationship. So most of the states have this service available through their registrations department, where we can register a de facto relationship. Okay, so this is all about partner visas. Next, we will talk about parent visas, right? So if any one of you have any questions regarding the partner visas, you can ask me now. Then we'll move to the parent visa category. You can unmute yourself and then ask me the question. Okay, so Mogiz is asking if how can we give proof that if you are married? So if you are married, then basically we need to provide a marriage certificate. The marriage certificate can be from foreign country. It will be considered. Someone is asking about study visa. So please note that this is not a seminar about study visa. And the visas, specifically about partner and parent visas. Chial is asking if how long does it take to get the partner visa? Okay, once we launch the partner visa has two stages. The first stage is a temporary visa, and the second stage is they get the permanent visa. So once we apply for the visa, the temporary visa takes around 2 years, but currently the department is finalizing the applications in 9 months for the first stage visa. Like if it is onshore, it's 820 is granted in 9-10 months, and then we wait for 2 years for the permanent 802 visa, sorry, 801 visa. Okay, what do we need for de facto? Tanya's question. So for de facto, either you can, we need to register the relationship. Otherwise, we have to provide evidence that you have been living together for 12 months. Okay, can your partner come to Australia on a tourist visa and then apply for partner visa? Okay, now she's asking if a partner can come to Australia on a tourist visa and then apply for a partner visa. Yes, that's possible. But again, then you have to satisfy high threshold for a tourist visa. So tourist visas, you have to also satisfy the GT criteria that the person is coming for a temporary visit and they're a genuine tourist. All right, so next question. Okay, Mogiz is asking, would the partner be required to give any English test? So no, the question answer is no. Mohammad Ansari, yes, the slide will be available later on, and the whole webinar is recorded on Facebook. You can also check in our Facebook page after the recording ended. Two subclasses, so which one? Okay. Lanil is asking question, two subclasses, so which one we need to apply first? Can we give me the number for the first subclass before 820? Okay, so there are two stages on this visa, 820 and 801, which we already talked about. So they both are applied at the same time. So it's a dual application. We apply for the same at the same time. We pay for the same at the same time. When we go to the next stage, so usually the department themselves send us a letter that you are eligible for the next stage. You can make an application now. And then the second stage application fees is already charged when we load the first stage. So then there is nothing payable at that time. Okay, so it's a combined application. All right, so let's move into the parent visa options now. Okay. If the partner visa is applied offshore, the partner cannot come to Australia. If we apply partner visa offshore, there are two options. Either the partner can wait offshore for the visa grant. Once the visa is granted, then they can come. Otherwise, they can apply for a tourist visa in the meanwhile, and they can visit in a tourist visa. Okay, so is it mandatory for the sponsor to be in Australia to apply for partner visa? No, the sponsor can be anywhere, so it's not mandatory. So even if the sponsor is in offshore country, we can still apply for the visa. But the sponsor still need to meet the criteria, like they must be a permanent resident or a citizen of Australia. Okay, so now we'll move into parent visa. So in parent visas, we have 7 visa subclasses available. So 4 of them are permanent visas and 3 of them are temporary visas. So in the PR visas, we have subclass 103 parent visa. This is offshore visa. And we have a equivalent of this as onshore visa, which is called 804 aged parent visa. Between the aged parent visa and the normal parent visa is that the aged parent visa can be applied in Australia, and the parent will get a bridging visa in for that application, basically. If he knows 103 parent visa, which is offshore visa application, so even if the applicant is in Australia, they will not be eligible for a bridging visa. So when we talk about aged, so migration law specifies the age meaning is 66.5-year-old person. So they are considered aged. Then we have contributory parent visas, onshore and offshore versions. We will discuss in detail in the next table, and we will see the comparison between them as well. And then you can choose which one is more beneficial as per your individual circumstances. So these are temporary parent visas, 173 contributory parent visa, and then 884 contributory aged parent visa. And also we have a 870 sponsored parent visa. So for 870 parent visa, we don't need to meet the balance of family test. And the sponsor also, so basically some people who cannot meet the criteria for parent visa, they can get this 870 visa. But again, that is a temporary visa. So let's see the comparison between all of these visas to have better understanding. Okay. So I think someone is talking. Let me mute participants. Okay, so where is it? Mute all. Mute all participants, yes. Okay. So in the parent visa, as we discussed earlier, so any visa number starting with 8, they are onshore visas. And any visa number starting with 1, they are offshore visas. So with the 801 parent visa and 864, so 804 is a normal parent visa. The fees is nominal. In the starting, we have to pay $4,355, and the second application charge is $2,000. Okay, but the problem is this visa, currently the processing time is more than 30 years. So basically, the parent will always be on a bridging visa A in most scenarios, and they may not get the visa in their lifetime. So the equivalent of it is we have 864 aged parent visa, which is where the application is finalized in around 6 years time. But then it comes with a massive cost. So it costs $43,600 per applicant, but that fees is payable at the time of visa grant. So basically what happens is when we meet the criteria and the visa officer is about to grant the visa after 6 years, then they will send us a pre-decision that your application is finalized and we are ready to grant you a visa. Please make the payment of this second installment, and then we will grant you the visa. Once you make the second installment payment, they grant you the visa within a week or so. Okay. So 884 temporary visa, we will not talk about it much because it's not very famous, and also it's not beneficial to apply. Okay, so with the normal offshore parent visas, 103 parent visa, again, 30 years processing time, fees is very nominal, 4,355 first installment, 2,000 last installment. But basically, there will be no bridging visas for this, no bridging visa, and the applicant will always be offshore. So it's not at all beneficial to apply 103 visa at the moment. So we have 143 visa if the parent are not aged. If someone's parent are 35 years to 55-year-old, okay, then 143 visa is the most beneficial visa to apply. It does come with the cost. So initial fees is around $4,500, and the second installment is $43,600. It will take around 6 years. No bridging visas for this visa, but still it comes out to be a very good option for a parent to migrate to Australia. Because because what will happen is after 6 years, when the visa is granted, the parent will be able to access Medicare as well as other social security benefits, and also income tax benefits as well. So some people who have a business here, they can also divide some income to their parents. It will save them income tax. So there are other ways as well. For that, you need to talk to your accountant, basically. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so with the 804 and 864 aged parent visas, when we say aged parent, so the age must be 66.5 years at the moment. Then we can apply. Both the visas will have bridging visas, A, granted. Only the main applicant need to meet the age requirement. For example, if one parent is 67-year-old and the second parent is 60-year-old, so we can make the parent who is 67-year-old main applicant, and 60-year-old parent can be a secondary applicant in the application, and the application can go through. No issues with them. Both of them will get bridging visa. Okay. Okay. You must meet the balance of family test for this, or for any parent visa, basically. Balance of family test means at least half of all your children must be Australian citizens or permanent residents. Or if they are living in different countries, then a minimum 50% children will be should be in Australia on a PR visa or a citizenship. Bridging visa A is available for these applications. Okay, if you have any doubt about how to calculate the balance of family test, then please come and visit us in the office and we can help you with that. No problem with it. Okay. When we talk about the offshore parent visas 103 and 143. So these visas, although they are offshore visas, we can still lodge them in Australia. But regardless, we will still not get the bridging visas for 103 and 143. So 103 is a normal parent visa. It takes 30 years. 143 contributory parent visa. So the second visa application charge is 43,600 at the moment. Balance of family test still applies for both of these visas. Okay. So parent sponsorship requirements. The person who wants to sponsor their parents, the person must be Australian citizen or permanent resident, must be settled in Australia. So they must be living and working in Australia for at least 2 years. That's what settled means. And they must be 18 years of age at least. If they are not 18, then someone else can also sponsor them. Okay. Okay. So the sponsor must agree to provide financial help for the applicant for the first 2 years, and or any other family members who are coming with the parents. The sponsor can also sponsor more than one parent, means he can sponsor both of their parents. Okay. The next requirement is the sponsor has to provide an assurance of support. It's a bond. Currently it's about $10,000, which is paid to the Centrelink, which is refundable after 10 years. Okay, the bond is payable at the time of visa grant. We don't need to pay it at the time of lodgement. Basically, it's assurance that the government will not have to pay any government assistance after they enter Australia. So if a parent went after getting the visa, they start getting any pension or any payments from the government, the payment will be taken from the bond deposited with the central. Okay, so who else can sponsor? Let's say if a person is here and they are under 18 years old, right? And they want to sponsor their parents for a parent visa. Then we had a similar case. The child was a citizen here because he was living in Australia for 10 years. He was born here, lived here. Parents were also here. Parents were on student visas, then on temporary visas. They were not able to get permanent residency. In the meanwhile, they had a child born in Australia. So under the migration law, if a person is born in Australia, even if on a temporary visa, after 10 years living in Australia on temporary visa, they are considered Australian citizens. So now that child, 10 years old, we can apply their citizenship and they will get the Australian citizenship, and they can sponsor their parents who are already in Australia on temporary visas for parent visa. In that case, the child is under 18, so the child cannot sponsor, but on the behalf of the child's uncle or any other relative they can sponsor the parents of the child. Okay. So the child's spouse or de facto partner, child's relative or guardian, or a child's spouse, de facto partner's guardian also can sponsor. So basically that's about it for the seminar today. So now it's a question round. If you have any question, please let me know and I'll be more than happy to answer that. So let's go to the chat. If you want to speak, you can unmute yourself and speak as well, if it is easier. Otherwise, you can type in your questions. Okay, Nas has asked a question. Bridging visa A is multiple entry. Okay, so bridging visa A does not have any travel rights, Nas. So there is no multiple entry question arises. So bridging visa A will cease if the applicant leaves Australia. So if someone apply a visa, A's parent visa in Australia, or a partner visa applies a visa and they leave Australia on bridging visa A, they cannot come back to Australia until their visa is granted. So we need to get a bridging visa B before leaving, which allows travel rights. Okay, Rob is asking, if I apply for an active 143 visa, active application offshore, can I later travel to Australia and apply for an 864 while there is already an active 143 active application? Yes. Yes, Rob, that's possible. You can have two applications in pipeline, but usually with the parent visa application, now I think the department already embedded that in the online system, so they will prevent it most probably. In the older times, we were able to lodge it, but I think recently they have now updated their system, so you cannot have two applications. Two applications are not allowed for parent visa category. For other migration visa, like general skilled migration visa, is possible, not for parent visa. You have to withdraw the old application. Okay, what about when most of, okay, Al is asking, what about when most of children are overseas and only one child is in Australia? Can I still apply for parent visa? And which subclass is the best? So every parent visa category, like in the permanent residency visas, the parent applicant has to meet the balance of family test, which means 50% children must be in Australia and they must be permanent residents. So in that case, if only one child is in Australia, parents will not be eligible for parent visa. Can parents work while on bridging visa? No, in the bridging visa, they cannot work, but in the aged one, they can. Or their health requirements for parent visas? Yes, the health requirements are there. So they have to go through the health medical checkup. Okay, Al is asking, for visas which are expensive, should all money be paid once? So there are two-stage visa processing fee. When we lodge the application, then we have to pay the first installment, which is $4,355. And when the visa is about to be granted 6 years or 7 years after lodgement, then we have to pay the huge sum, $43,600. Victoria, how many times can a person renew their tourist visa? So there is no limit on renewing tourist visa. They can do as many times as they want. Okay, now she's asking, so every time a parent leaves Australia while on aged parent visa, they have to apply for bridging visa B. How long does it take and what is the fee? Okay, so bridging visa fee, yes. So the bridging visa fee, every time it takes $165 from the department, and they will charge 1.4% card fee as well. So it will precisely come up to $167.10. Okay, so usually nowadays the department is giving 1 year bridging visa. So I applied a bridging visa for a parent last week. We got the visa already yesterday. So that they gave a 1 year travel right facility. So in 1 year they can have multiple travel. When that facility ended, then we have to apply for another bridging visa B for that. Okay, L is asking which visa the best for parent to apply. So L, it depends on the age of the parents. So if the parents are aged parent, then definitely we go for aged contributory parent visa. And if the parents are less than 66 years old, then we still apply for contributory parent visa 143. Okay, Rachel is asking, I have few questions. Can I speak? Yes, Rachel, yes, you can speak.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. Yes.
Okay. Um, so basically, what I would want to know is that the 66 and a half visa,
Mhm.
the visa that when parents turn 66 and a half, for this particular one,
Mhm.
um, so when they, you said that you had to wait for 30 years to get the grant, but during that time, I know obviously that we're not, it's a quite a long period. During that time, when they get a bridging visa,
Mhm.
can they work or will they get Medicare, all types of benefits what we are getting? That's my first question.
Mhm.
The second question would be like they've been living with us for the past 2.5 years now, renewing their uh, tourist visa. Now they've done it for a couple of times.
Mhm.
So my question is that, like, while they apply for a bridging, while they apply for a tourist visa, or while they're on a bridging, can they still go and apply for this particular visa that I discussed about, the 66.5 visa?
So that visa is possible. You mean the contributory one or the non-contributory one?
The one that when they turn 66.5.
So when they turn 66.5, we have two visa options. Okay, one is 804. If you see on the screen,
Yeah, I can see that.
that visa has a very nominal fees.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the first one. 804 is the one that I'm talking about.
yeah, so that
So
will
for that one, why when they're on a tourist visa or when they're on a bridging tourist visa, can they apply for it? Because what happened was my father-in-law's, he's turning 66 and a half only in June.
we can
But
apply, no problem.
he's only in June. But the thing is that his tourist visa is expiring in May.
Then first we have to accept, then we can apply while he's
So
here.
so during May he has to apply for another tourist visa, is it?
That's right. Yeah. First we apply for another tourist visa, extend the stay.
Okay.
When once he pass the age threshold, then only we can apply for the aged parent visa.
Suppose if he hasn't got the grant for tourist visa, if he's still on a bridging visa, can he still apply for this one, 804?
We have to check in that scenario if there is any conditions attached to the bridging visa. Okay. So
All right, okay. Thank you. That's all for me. Thank
no,
you.
no worries. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, so Rob is asking, what is the best route to come onshore to apply for its visa, visitor visa most of the times, no further stay condition. What is the best way to prevent this condition? Okay, so Rob, basically, if you want to apply a visa onshore, aged parent visa, and take the benefits of a bridging visa, then definitely the parent must come on a visitor visa. And in the visitor visa, there are 6 different streams. So we must not apply under the family sponsor scheme, because if you apply under family sponsor scheme, then the no further stay condition will be mandatory attached to it. So it should be a general tourist stream that we must apply. And then once they are onshore, then we can apply for their parent visa. Okay, Mogiz Ali, how much is the processing time for the spouse visa? So spouse visa is currently, first stage is the government is taking 9 months. And for the second stage is mandatory from the date of visa, it must have been 24 months. Before that, they cannot consider by law. Okay, Victoria, while on a tourist bridging visa, onshore waiting for their visit visa, can they apply for parent visa? That is possible, but we have to see the underlying conditions attached to the bridging visa. So please maybe make a visit to our office or give me a call. These numbers, I gave you the number here, and then we can have a phone consultation. Okay, IT support. So support is asking if what if parents include a stepmother and biological mother? Can he sponsor both, including the father? Yes, that's possible. So if one parent is there and then they have a stepmother, which is a step wife of their parent, then the child can sponsor both. No problem. Akshay, parents are 76 and 2 out of 3 kids are permanent residents in Australia. What visa do you think is the best? So in Akshay, in case, we would recommend we apply for this one, the aged contributory parent visa, 804. sorry, 864. 864 is the most beneficial visa. Okay, then it will give them permanent residency in only 6 years' time. And they will also be able to get the social security benefits and other Medicare benefits after the visa grant. L is asking, given that I am the only child here and my siblings are overseas, the temporary visa only option. Does temporary visa means parents do not receive Medicare services? Okay, given I'm the only child here and my siblings are the, yes, that's right. Temporary visa does not provide any Medicare rights. If your country of passport has any reciprocal Medicare service agreement with Australia, then it's possible, otherwise no. Okay, Rob, what are the recommended documents to show relationship with parents? So Rob, these are the part of checklist. So these are depending on the individual circumstances. So please visit our office or give me a call on these numbers, and I will be more than happy to assess. Victoria, under 804 visa, while on breathing, do okay. Do parents have any form of benefits, working rights, medical, etc.? So no, working rights, Medicare, they are not there usually. But with working rights, there was a new changes about to come. So we have to see again when we launch the visa, what is the prevalent law at that time. When they are 804 prison, can they work? Usually, no. But again, we have to check which visa they already held at that time of lodgement. So accordingly, they get the conditions attached to their bridging visa. Okay, now is it mandatory to get insurance for the parents while on bridging visa? So no, while on bridging visa, depending on which visa have they lost. If they are lodging a visitor visa, and the condition, we have to read basically what is the condition of their current visa. If the condition of the current visa says that you must hold a insurance, then yes, otherwise no. Even the bridging visa has conditions. Okay, so next, Noel, do you know of visa refusals for parents' visa cause of diabetes? Okay, do you know the visa? Okay, for the diabetes, uh, there is no issue with diabetes, so there won't be any refusals just because of diabetes. Okay, so usually hepatitis and other, if someone has other serious issues, then the visa is refused on health ground. Otherwise, diabetes is quite normal. L, which temporary subclass is the best for parents? So that depends on your needs and the age of the person. So if temporary visa, you're asking, then a visitor visa is fine. Long-term visitor visa, even the 3 years there, or we can go for 870 visitor visa. Rob, mine from India, ration card is almost a primary document showing relationship, but it's in Hindi, is it required? Will it work getting it translated to English? I'm unsure how to get it translated though. Okay, so Rob, yes, we can help you with that. Every single document must be in English. Any other language will not be considered. So it needs to be translated in English through an accredited translator. So the Department of Immigration has accredited translators around the world. So we can let you know if there are many in India though, we know for a fact. Okay, Anish Shrestha, can I add my girlfriend to my 186 bridging visa? What are the requirements? So for 186 bridging visa, you cannot add your girlfriend, Anish. Okay, the visa has already been lodged. So this is a PR visa 186. So we cannot lodge any applicant after the visa is lodged. If someone is on tourist visa, Victoria is asking, and wish to come back, how much time should they be left in the existing country? So there is no time frame. Even they can apply for a visa next day as well. But on a general practice, we recommend that they stay at least for 3 months and then apply to satisfy the department that they are genuine tourists. Rob, thank you, Arun. Okay, thank you, Rob. No worries. Thank you. So thank you, everyone. Here are the numbers on the screen and email address. You can visit our office and you can call us or email us, and we can help you further with your visa inquiries. Not a problem at all. Okay, I'll quickly take 2-3 more questions and then we will wrap it up for the session. Okay. Okay, now she's asking, can I apply for age parent visa for my parent-in-law? Should I wait until my parents get her PR, or she have to sponsor their partner visa, parent visa, I think you mean to say. So Nash, yes, if you are a permanent resident in Australia, you can sponsor your in-laws. That's fine. Okay, Lanil, how long should we lodge partner visa before your own visa expired? I did not get this question pretty much, Lanil. Can you please speak up because we are running out of time?
So
Victoria.
it's like I'm on my student visa, and then I want to apply the partner visa, which is like my student visa expire this year, like end of this year. So how long should I apply before it expired?
You can apply before 12 o'clock midnight on the day your visa is expiring.
Yeah, but then you said that when we applied, we have to wait for them to tell us like when we can like pay the money.
You are talking about partner visa or parent visa?
Partner visa.
So for partner visa, you don't need to worry about it because we were talking about parent visa earlier. So when we launch the partner visa, all of the fees is gone in one time. Okay. So the partner visa, they charge around $8,400 roughly. That is paid in one installment. The second installment is not applicable.
Okay.
But on a
So as soon as like you put the application, when you apply, you have to pay straight away, right?
Without paying, the application is not submitted.
Okay.
Okay, and it must be in one single transaction. The whole of the payment must be made. Until unless we pay the money and hit the pay button, put the details, then the visa is not submitted. Basically, the application is not submitted.
Okay.
Okay. So
thank you.
We would recommend to launch the partner visa at least a month ago, because if we wait until the last day of the visa expiry, and sometime the department's website is down or there is any technical issues, then basically you won't be able to launch the next day and you won't have any bridging visas. There will be a lot of issues.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you. Victoria, what are your consultation fee, please? If a tourist is coming back to Australia on their valid tourist visa, has only 1 month remaining on the visa, can they stay? Okay. Tourist is coming. Yes, they can still come, Victoria. And for all the participants who has attended the webinar today, we can provide a complimentary first consultation. So please call us on the number displayed on the screen and let them know that you joined the webinar today on the 24th of November and you want to claim your first free consultation, and we'll be happy to provide you the first consultation free of charge. Okay, thank you everyone. I hope you had a great time. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy yourself. Thank you for coming.